Hello, I'm Barbara Nowak. Today we are meeting on Lutravita, Tasmania, Australia, Aboriginal land, sea and waterways. I acknowledge with deep respect the traditional owners of this land, the Palawa people. The Palawa people belong to the oldest continuing culture in the world. They carried and protected country for thousands of years. They knew this land, they lived on the land, and they died on this land. I honor them. I acknowledge that it is a privilege to stand on country and walk in the footsteps of those before us, along the riverbanks, among the gums and seas that continue to run through the veins of Tasmanian Aboriginal community. I pay my respects to elders past and present, and to many Aboriginal people that did not make elder status, and to the Tasmanian Aboriginal community that continue to care for the country. I stand for a future that profoundly respects and acknowledges Aboriginal perspectives, culture, language, and history, and a continued effort to fight for Aboriginal justice and rights, paving the way for a strong future. We are meeting here today to talk about the special issue of International Journal for Parasitology. I had the privilege and honor to be a guest editor for the issue on fish parasites. This is volume 50, issue 10 to 11, published in September 2020. And the content is really interesting and should be fascinating for anybody who works on fish parasitology. This special issue was supposed to coincide with the 10th International Symposium for Fish Parasitology. We were planning to organize it in Cairns on 6 to 9 July 2020, and was going to coincide with the Australian Society for Parasitology annual conference. Unfortunately, as you know, the things changed and we could not control it. The borders, international borders and state borders all were closed and all international travel stopped. And due to the pandemic, we had to postpone plans for the conference, but the special issue was still published, and I would like to introduce today not only this issue, but also some interviews that I did with some of the authors from this issue. But before I talk about this, I just wanted to briefly outline ISFP history. So the first of ISFP ran in 1983 in České Budějovice in Czechoslovakia. And the idea behind it was to unite and allow networking for scientists on both sides of the Iron Curtain. The conference in 1987 was organized in Tihanyi in Hungary, and then the next one in 1991 in Petrozavodsk, Karelia, Soviet Union. The ISFP conference in 1995 was the first conference which was run in Western Europe. It was in Munich in Germany. And then in 1999, it returned to České Budějovice in Czech Republic. The conference in 2003 was the first one organized outside Europe in South Africa in Bloemfontein. And the one in 2007 was back in Europe in Viterbo, Italy. ISFP in 2011 was the second ISFP in Southern Hemisphere, which was run in Viña del Mar in Chile. So it was the first conference in South America. And then the next one was 2015, the 9th ISFP, which was organized in Valencia, Spain. I had the great pleasure to be invited speaker at the conferences at Viterbo, Viña del Mar, and Valencia, and all of them were great success. The organizers put a lot of work and effort into making sure that they were a really great opportunity for networking and meeting other fish parasitologists. As you will see during the interviews, a lot of people remember the conferences, ISFP conferences, as the first conferences they attended as PhD students, met all the famous parasitologists and got inspired and themselves became famous fish parasitologists. So as I mentioned before, the pandemic and COVID-19 interfered and interrupted all our plans. And now we are hoping to have the conference 5th to 8th July 2021. And if that is impossible, then we will postpone it for another year. The international ISFP International Committee is working very hard to make sure that the 10th ISFP happens one way or another. And I would like to acknowledge the chairman, Tony Raga, Tom Cribb, local chairman for ISFP 10, and the representatives from other countries, Linda Basson, Milan Gelnar, Monika Kafara, Izor de Baron Connors, Hiroshi Yokoyama, Juan Timi, and Arne Levsen. I would also like to acknowledge IJP and Elsevier support for the special issues, in particularly the editor Brian Cook, Maria Mulmal for all her support, and the Elsevier support Dale Seaton. As you will see, the interviews that we have cover only some of the papers, and I'm sure you'll find other papers in this special issue that are equally interesting. I would like to acknowledge those authors who agreed to the interviews: Nico Smith, Shoshi Akashi, Jerry Bartolomeo and Ben Americus, Tim Dempster, Andrew Coates, and Luke Barrett, Kurt Buchmann, Louise van Gerstorff Jurgensen, Mark Fast, and Laura Braden. And I would like to give special thanks to Lisa Jones, who has provided all the support and edited all our interviews and had to cope with a lot of technical issues that we caused. So finally, I would like to wish you all the best for 2021. I hope we meet at ISFP this year, and Happy New Year and all the best. And thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you really enjoyed the interviews.